Welcome to our live Tuesdays at 2. I am your host, Antoinette LaGrossa. For those of you new to homeschooling or ShillerLearning, we are part of the nonprofit Rising Stars Foundation, and our goal is to help students of all abilities to be able to get the benefits of a personalized Montessori-based education in order to fulfill their potential. And if you like homeschooling tips in general, or Montessori-based approach in particular, be sure to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel so that you do not miss any of the sessions if you can't happen to make them live. Also, be sure to check out some of Larry Schiller's life-changing sessions and advice. I think there's a lot of good stuff that you can take away from that. Okay, today we are doing our Math Kit 1 walkthrough. So I am going to go ahead and turn off the camera so that, not the camera, I'm going to turn off the screen share there. Okay, and am I coming across clear to everyone, or are we getting a little fuzz on that camera view? If you do have any questions during the presentation, do go ahead and put those into the chat box. And okay, excellent. So it does look okay to you. Okay, so now you should be able to see me a little larger without the screen share. Today we are doing that Math Kit 1 walkthrough, and FedEx is going to bring a 20-pound box to your door. So I'm not going to do the unboxing itself on camera because, as you can see, that is a very large box. That is going to contain 20 pounds of learning goodness for you. One of the first things that you're going to pull out of there is a cookie. It is a 2-pack, so you can share that with your child. You can also decide to just, hide in the pantry later and enjoy that all yourself. So that is completely up to you. They are yummy. And in there, you will also be getting some interior boxes. So you'll have a box of manipulatives. You'll also have a box of print material. In that box of print material, you're going to have your 3 books. Now, Math Kit 1 is covering pre-K through 3rd grade for you. It has 5 years of curriculum, and that's going to be pre-K, kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade. So all 5 years are going to be contained in this kit. It has all of the materials that you need for those years, as well as the music. We do have different options for the kit, and then of course everything is available individually as well. So however you would like to purchase the kit, we do have a configuration that will work for you. And then we can also always help with personal recommendations. Now, one of the things that you're going to get in your print material is this tiny little booklet. And this is the parent guide. It is just 16 pages. Sometimes people, because it is so small, people are tempted to just skip reading that. I would encourage you to read it because this is going to give you some tips and best practices to get the most out of the program. If you are going to be placing with diagnostic testing, and we will talk about that a bit right now, there is this handy little flow chart that gives an overview of that testing process. One of the other tips in here that I do want to mention is that you work according to time. So our program is not going to give you, a learning plan that says, oh, it's the 25th day of school, Jane does XYZ. It's going to be different for every child. And by doing that recommended time, starting with 15 minutes a day for a 3 or 4-year-old, and then adding 5 minutes a day for each year of age after that, you're going to help move the child through the curriculum as they're able to master the material without worrying about, one day they fly through their activity for the day in 5 minutes, and another day, what someone thinks they should be able to cover in that time period might take them a few days to do. So the curriculum is going to work for your child. So pay attention to that recommended time frame. One of my other favorite things in here is this situational phrase guide. And this gives you some recommended responses when different situations come up, like if your child makes a mistake, if they're getting restless, or if they're treating materials improperly. So lots of good tips for you that will help make your life easier in that parent guide. Okay, next, there is, it doesn't look like I took that out of the box before I tossed the box down. Yep. Okay. Another thing that you want to be sure to read, because this is just going to give you additional insight into the 3 possible outcomes of a lesson. This is your lesson book cover letter, and that talks about competency and closure. Our goal for every child is that they're getting 100% mastery, because that's what's going to give you that solid math foundation. And if your child is not mastering the concepts in pre-K through pre-algebra, which is what the full ShillerLearning math curriculum covers, if your child isn't mastering those foundational pieces, you are setting them up for frustration and failure when we're getting to higher math. And we will take a look at, some of the ways that we are ensuring that mastery for every child. Okay, so you've done your preliminary reading, the 16-page parent guide, that lesson book cover letter. And just in case you did not read the parent guide, there are some of those same suggestions here in the beginning of your lesson book, in the introduction, and the educator guide. So if your child is pre-K, if they're kindergarten, if they are first, if they are second, or if they are third grade, every child is going to start in this first book, because we don't want to make assumptions about what a child does and does not know. You may have noticed kids are full of surprises, and sometimes they will not know something that we have gone over, numerous times. And other times, they'll know something that we've never even covered with them. So kids are full of surprises. There's diagnostic testing included with the ShillerLearning Math Kit 1. You can also purchase that diagnostic testing as a separate item if you're trying to decide between, Math Kit 1 or Math Kit 2 for a child who is on the cusp of those two. Now, Math Kit 1 does take you through 4-digit addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, So if your child has not yet mastered those skills, they're going to be in Math Kit 1. And we do want to place them not on an age basis, but on a skill basis. Okay, so with Math Kit 1, we're going to start every child in that first book. We're going to start them at the first lesson. Lesson number 1 is where we introduce the work area. And the work area in Montessori uses this excellent, simple little tool that is really effective in a lot of ways. It is the work mat. The work mat that you're going to get with ShillerLearning is an off-white. There are a few different shades. This is my favorite new shade. It's this lovely gray. It's a Velox mat. It's soft. It's washable. I actually still have the original mat. I've been using ShillerLearning since 2004 with my 5 kids. And the original mat that it came with back in 2004 was a very lovely white felt mat, but the felt was not washable and the white, it showed dirt. So I have to say, this is a lot more practical, and I love that you can just throw it in the wash. So the work mat defines the workspace, promotes good work habits because the kids in that first lesson, part of that instruction is that letting them know, setting the clear expectation that once you're finished with an activity, you're going to put all of those things away exactly where they belong before moving on to the next activity. So it's going to help to promote good work habits. It's also going to actually focus attention. And we probably all know a child who could benefit from additional focus. And that is a nice large mat. You could work with multiple students around that, or you could, if you're working with multiple children, get an additional mat for each student. Okay, so no matter the age, we've done that first lesson, introduce them to the work area. From there, if your child is just starting off with their math journey, you can go ahead and simply turn to the next lesson in the book. And that is where we're going to introduce some shapes. And you may notice that it'll tell you the name of the lesson. There's an objective box. It's letting you know the goal of that lesson, any materials that are going to be used with the lesson, and then whether or not it is a consumable. Why would you want to know whether or not it's a consumable, since the children's portions are right in the page? Well, if you're going to be using the kit with additional children, some people like to print the extra consumable right then and there for the first child and leave the books unmarked for later kids. With the ShillerLearning kits, you do get lifetime access to free downloads of all your printed material. And what's nice is this entire lesson book comes in a single PDF file. So you download that lesson book file and you've got all your diagnostic test in there, all the instruction, as well as the student pages. And that way it's a one and done purchase that works for all of the kids. So if you have, 10 kids, this one kit is going to work for you. Okay, so that's if you have a child at the beginning of their math journey. And you just go to that next lesson. When they complete that, right in the back of your books, as well as in that 3-ring binder that you're getting with all of those worksheets, you've got some tracking sheets in there, as well as printed right in the back of your book. You can record the date, the minutes worked, the list of lessons successfully completed, and then very important column is that list of lessons to be revisited, so that when your child is not solid on something, simply make note of it there, continue on to other things because we don't want to bore or frustrate. So, unless your child wants to stay on that one thing, go ahead and move on. But then, periodically, on a regular basis, maybe every 2 or 3 days, we're going to add that back into the work until it is mastered. And then once they master that, that can just, the number of that lesson can simply get crossed off and it drops out of their workflow. So the curriculum itself is a spiral, but within that spiral, they're working to mastery at their individual pace. When they pick up on things more quickly, they're going to move through the curriculum at an accelerated pace. We have had customers' children move through Kit 1 in as little as 2 years, having started in pre-K. But conversely, when a child does then need some extra time and repetition in order to master something, they're going to be afforded that, which is important because if you're moving a child through before they master the material, simply to keep them up to pace with some artificial grade level or standard, then they're not mastering it. They're not going to be able to use it. And especially in math, that knowledge is cumulative. And if you're moving them on before they master it, you might as well not be doing the work because really what you're teaching them is to not like math. Okay, so we've got that tailored repetition, finding that Goldilocks zone of repetition, not too much, not too little, just right. Now, let's say that you have a, second or third grade student who's transitioning into Math Kit 1. Again, we're starting everyone with that lesson book 1. But for the older student, after they've been introduced to the work mat and they get to choose their work area, we are going to look at the inside front cover of that book. This shows you where to find the 4 diagnostic review tests that are in here. You just look at that. Okay, we're going to go to page 63. That's where that first test is. Now, these tests, oh, and I do just want to note that the books are color, and you'll see beautiful color illustrations in some of those activities where the child is in the book. Now, the child isn't in the book for every lesson because it is using all 4 learning styles. You've got visual, tactile, auditory, as well as kinesthetic. So all 4 of those learning modalities being used to teach every concept. So no matter what your child's dominant learning style, it's going to work for them. Okay, so back on to that first diagnostic test. And the diagnostic tests are right in the book. It's just another lesson. So no big deal made out of it for the child. And it even says in here, and it is scripted. So, your instructions are right in there. And then it tells you what to say in quotes. So it really, truly is just open and go, no lesson preparation required. So this says, we'll have a test to see what you've learned so far. This will help me understand what I need to do to make our math work more fun. How could that not be attractive to our child? And it goes on, you may take as much time and use whatever materials you wish. And then this test, it is a multi-page test, by the way. And so it's going to go on for, quite a few pages. But what's nice about it is it covers not just a sampling, but it covers everything that was in that preceding section. So if your child gets everything right on that test, great, good job. We know we don't need to bore them to death with any of that material. But let's say your third grader gets a couple of questions wrong on that. Well, you've just discovered crucial gaps in their math foundation. that you do not want to leave. So commonly missed question for older kids is one of them is rows and columns. And it's funny because when I point that out at conventions, we actually get even a lot of parents who go, oh yeah, I get confused between which is which. So if this is one of those things that your child gets wrong, no problem. Right in the test there, it gives you the list of 3 lessons that teach the concept for that question. So you're able to build a very personalized learning plan for each child based on exactly what they do and do not know. Kids really appreciate this because, on the one hand, it's not going to bore them and disrespect their time trying to teach them things they already know, but at the same time, filling those random gaps that a lot of kids have in their math foundation that are sabotaging today's success. And once we fill those gaps, you'll see kids start to make connections between concepts that they were not prior. There's also, so you can create a list and write it out by hand based on the test there. But there is also this amazing feature at the Schiller Learning website where you go in and you check off the questions they get wrong, and it creates a brand new personalized learning plan. It gives you that list of lessons that your child needs, but it also creates a brand new PDF file what that has only the lessons your student needs, which is especially convenient if you're going to be printing consumables for extra kids. And your older child just has a few gaps from that first book, it's going to be really convenient. It just does not get any easier from that. Okay, so let's talk about some of the other concepts that are covered in here and the materials that you'll be pulling out of your kit that you will use with that first book. So we saw that first lesson is using some wooden shapes, and you are getting a set of 64 wooden shapes in 4 different colors. So you'll get 8 different shapes, including circles, squares, rectangles, triangles, trapezoids, diamonds, hexagons, and hearts. And they are coming in 4 different colors. So it's a really nice set of shapes that your kids are going to be using for shape identification, probability, and that is one of the other things that you'll be using in that first book is the probability bag. It's just this fabulous velveteen bag with that string tie. And we do introduce probability in that first book, but in a very concrete way. There's only one possible outcome that goes into that bag, and then the child is, and it, again, the lessons step you through all of this. Okay, so you've got your set of 64 shapes. They're also going to be used for different patterning activities. Patterning is actually one of the best predictors of a child's future math ability. So you'll see that we do a lot of patterning so that for the kids who it's not coming naturally, we really cultivate that skill. Kids also have a lot of fun with that. Okay, so we've got the shapes, we've got the probability bag. One of the other manipulatives that your child is going to fall in love with right away is that Math Kit 1 audio CD. As I mentioned, it is using all 4 learning modalities, that visual, tactile, auditory, and kinesthetic for every concept. So it is a fabulous support for kids with special needs. And the Montessori method was actually developed specifically for working with special needs population. And because of its amazing success working with students with special needs, that's what started to bring worldwide attention. And then Dr. Montessori opened her first children's house, and it was actually in a slum district in Rome. And the children were very malnourished, did not have resources at home. And again, the Montessori methods really helped them advance in their development. So it is a fabulous method for children with special needs, as well as for, you know, children who are gifted and have a natural math aptitude, or a combination of those. There are certainly also many twice gifted children who have special needs as well as a math gift, and then just students of average abilities as well. So the music, your kids are going to love the 25 songs that are included with this. On our website, you can see a list of those. My kid's favorite was always the right and left. I cannot tell you how many times I have danced to that. My personal favorite is the Alien Even and Odd, a little funkier sounding, but great variety of music styles. And these are not drill songs. These are concept songs that your kids are going to like to listen to even outside of lesson time. By the way, your kids scratch the CD, they wear it out, no worries. The MP3s of the songs are in your customer downloads. So that is really convenient as well. Okay. And then you have your decimal material. That really, to me, is probably the star of the show, because that is really going to help your child to be able to get a solid understanding of place value and number sense. So you've got 100 of the unit cubes, 27 of your 10 rods, 27 of your 100 flats. You've got one of your plastic 1,000 cubes. And then, as you can see over my shoulder there, you have 16 additional 1,000 cube flats that you're going to fold together for a volume of 1,000 cubes. I saw the most ingenious storage solution on a customer's blog, and that was just piling them up in the corner of a room. And that way they're not going to take up any storage space. But you can also put them onto a shelf in a tray. Okay, so you also, numbers are going to be introduced with your blocks in those corresponding quantities. You've got your place value number cards, and those will ultimately be overlapped for doing multi-digit numbers. But once your child is good with place value numbers 1 through 9, they're actually ready to learn place value into the thousands. But it's done in a very concrete, naming physical object way. So this is a 10, this is 100, this is 1,000. They're not looking at numbers, they're naming physical quantities. So once they become competent with that, then we are going to correlate those to the number cards. They get competent with those individual components of place value, and then we'll overlap those cards. So the number cards, they will also use these as they go into that 4-digit addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. They will actually lay the problems out with those. On the YouTube channel, we do have some videos where we go through it and do operations with the materials. and you can see how concrete that is. They will also be getting coins. They have a whole set with a quantity of your quarters, your pennies, dimes, and nickels, and you can see that there is a good quantity of those. This is measuring cup. You will get a 1 cup as well as a 2-cup measuring cup, and they will do pouring activities, and kids absolutely love using water in their learning. Another manipulative that the kids are going to love is the ball. It's a nice light foam ball. It's not going to knock over anything in your house. You're also getting a set of 6-pip dice. Sometimes people ask, what is a 6-pip die? And it simply means that it goes up to 6 on a side. So they're getting a pair of those. They'll be used for different probability as well as math fact activities and patterning. You're also getting a balance. It comes in 2 pieces. Assembly is very simple. You're simply setting the hand part on your fulcrum. It does have little X marks the spot for trying to keep your, it's used with the unit cubes for doing different inequalities. There is a 14-card operator set. When you look at that, all the different inequalities that the kids are going to learn in this first kit is very impressive. You're also getting your geared clock. When you move that minute hand, the hour hand is going to move just like a real clock. So this is going to be a lot easier for your children to learn time than a lot of the other educational clocks that are out there. You're also going to be getting a set of 55 wooden dominoes, and they are what's called a double 9 domino. And what that means is that it's going up to 9 on a side, which means you're going to be able to work on facts up to 18 with those dominoes. That was always one of my kids' favorite ways of working with their math facts, of course, along with the ball and the dice. We do, by the way, have a Math Facts Bootcamp class. They are live interactive classes that take those multisensory activities out of Math Kit 1, along with some additional activities, extension things for the kids to learn to do, to be able to practice and master their math facts. So if you're using a different curriculum and would like to incorporate some of those multisensory activities into your child's math fact practice, that is a great option for you. Okay, so we have those manipulatives. There's also going to be a clear ruler. If you've got a drawer full of rulers like I did, you're going to be very impressed with the ease of measuring with a clear ruler as opposed to the many opaque ones that we all have. And simple little thing, but it just, again, makes life so much easier, like many of the other things in the ShillerLearning curriculum. You're getting crayons, pencil, I mean, literally everything you need to simply open the box and go. Okay, so in that first book, they're going to be doing 4-digit addition, Roman numerals, shapes, patterning, even and odd, rows and columns, as well as other concepts. In the second book, they are going to be then playing the exchange game, where they combine various quantities of a place value and exchange that in their bank for that next place value up. Then we add that exchange to the 4-digit operations, and they'll be doing that 4-digit addition, also taking a deep dive into those basic facts. One of the lessons that I love for that, and when you're introducing, taking a concept to that next level, that instruction is going to be fully scripted for you. The book shows you pictures of how to lay things out. So again, it is really easy to use. When the kids are doing tessellations with the shapes, it is giving you illustrations of what that is going to look like. And then the kids are going to practice that for themselves. It has you doing the domino activities where they are summing for finding all of the dominoes that sum to our particular lesson. It's also laying the foundation for multiplication and division, doing multiples, square numbers. And also when, for example, you're doing all of the facts that are summing to 9, they will take those 9 unit cubes and see, okay, how can we use these to create equal groups? Again, laying that foundation for multiplication and division. Once we get into the third lesson book, this is when we formally call it multiplication and division, and they will be getting into doing 4-digit, both multiplication as well as division. Everything is introduced in the concrete before gracefully transitioning the child to the abstract. So in the beginning, they'll be doing all of those operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division in the concrete with the decimal material, that volume of 1,000 cubes, and their number cards. Once they are good with those concepts at those levels, then we transition to the number tiles. And the number tiles and the number cards, they are both coming in these beautiful wooden boxes with the slide lids that help them to stay where they should be. But this is that next level of abstraction past the physical material and those number cards. Book will step you through in your binder. In addition to those tracking sheets, you've got addition sheets, subtraction sheets, and multiplication sheets. The book shows you how to use those, but basically this is that bridge between working concretely with the physical materials and the number cards, and abstractly just working with pencil and paper. Now we're guiding the student through writing those equations out. They still have the support of that manipulative if they need it. And then from there, we transition them to just abstractly with pencil and paper. Okay. So that is pretty much a broad look, a snapshot at that Math Kit 1 and the kinds of things that are done through there. The 4 diagnostic tests that I showed you that are in the book 1, there are then another 4 tests in lesson book 2. Again, that inside front cover is going to show you exactly where to find them. And then there's another 4 in that lesson book 3. Again, that shows you exactly where to find them. They are also in your lesson book download. We do recommend that you fill the gaps as you do the testing, as opposed to just batch testing and trying to run your child through all the tests before creating that learning plan. Because if you identify gaps on that first test, then before going to the next test, do the lessons as prescribed. Then by filling that gap, they may answer questions on a subsequent test correctly that they would have gotten wrong had we not filled that earlier gap. So your best result, unless of course you're trying to decide between kit levels, is to, do the testing as you are doing the lessons. And we can help you. You can call our toll-free number, 888 556 6284, and we can help you in discussion about where your child is at, figure out which kit, Math Kit 1 for pre-K to third or Math Kit 2 for fourth through pre-algebra is going to be the best fit for your child. And in some cases, we would recommend, if they are on that cusp, doing the diagnostic testing in order to, determine what the best fit is going to be. If it turns out that your child has maybe just 30 lessons that they would need from Math Book 3 in order to be prepared for that Math Kit 2, we actually can offer that to you in that personal lesson plan format. And we do those at just $1 a lesson. And so with that, for $30, you could get everything you needed out of Math Kit 1 in the digital format, run through those, and be set to hit the ground running with Math Kit 2. So being able to purchase those personalized learning plans is also a really convenient feature. Are there any questions that anyone has that we did not cover in the presentation? I also want to go ahead and go over those kit options with you real quickly. As I mentioned, we do have a few different purchasing options for Math Kit 1. The first is the full kit. And with this, you're getting all the print material, the audio CD, as well as the music downloads, and all of the manipulatives, the complete set. It is 5 years of curriculum, going to cover pre-K through third. Generally going to be for 4 to 8-year-olds, but you can certainly start a child younger than that if they're no longer eating little objects. And we get plenty of older elementary students who are using it to fill gaps. Again, you want to make a skill-based placement decision as opposed to an age-based placement. Math Kit 1 Basic. With this, you are getting all of the same print material as well as the downloadable content as with the full Math Kit, but this does not have the full set of manipulatives. What's not in this? There is a full list in the kit description for Math Kit 1 about which items would be supplied by the educator. But the big ticket item is that decimal material, your base 10 blocks. The 100 Unicubes, 27 tens, 27 hundreds, and then a total of 17 of those 1,000 cubes. So if you do not have that, I would recommend just going with the full kit. But if you do have that, or you're using Montessori Golden Bead, then the basic kit is going to be a really nice option for you. If you, the only component of that you're missing are enough of the 1,000 cubes We do offer that set of 16,000 cube flats individually. That seems to be a popular thing that people will add to a Math Kit 1 basic. And then if you happen to have all the manipulatives already, or are on a tighter budget, then Math Kit 1 Digital is going to be a great option for you. With this, there's nothing shipped, which also means you get to just do everything immediately. You have PDFs of the uh, lesson books, the answer guides, the tracking sheets, the parent guides, the MP3s of all of the songs, as well as some printable manipulatives, the shapes, the dominoes, the number cards, the number tiles, the operator set. All of that is in printable format. We do recommend printing those on cardstock. It's just going to be a better user experience for your child than doing, just regular plain paper. All of those things that we just looked at are available individually. So you could go with starting with a single book, and then we have the full manipulative set, or you can pick and choose manipulative by manipulative which ones you would like to purchase. Again, if you'd ever like assistance with purchasing decisions, helping you figure out which is going to be the best fit for your student needs as well as your family budget, and to go with what materials you already have, give us a call. We are always happy to help. And that is going to wrap it up for today. And it looks like we did hit all of the questions that were asked during the session. If you have any others, you're watching the replay, go ahead and put your questions down in the comments and we will answer those. Thanks for joining us for today's edition of Tuesdays at 2. We will be back next week with some activities to build your child's listening skills. That's something that we parents always enjoy when those skills are improved. So thanks, everyone. It was great to have you here with us.